We are back. Today we're talking about the bug. Now, what bug is it? It's the bug that just won a special event. Now, special events are, I believe they have the same payout as like regionals, but the thing is they're not like, they don't really like have the same player count as regionals. This one took place in Peru. But even though there are only 64 or 63 Masters Division players, it's still worth taking a look at. And also we can take a look at the results of the LA regionals and see that there is one Pokemon that is on the rise, and it is Volcarona. So, you know, I'm here with C Buddy. You want to say hi?
Hello.
Sorry, I was taking a sip of my drink, but I thought the high would last a little bit longer. But we're gonna talk about Volcarona. If you guys enjoy, leave a like, subscribe. I'll leave C Buddy's link in the description down below so you can sub to them. And yeah,
Awesome.
let's go ahead and just get into it. So you want to explain like the general idea of Volcarona on modern teams? This channel is partnered with GamerSupps. If you want to support my work and get great tasting drinks, you can order GamerSupps through my link in the description down below, or with code Moxie boosted at checkout for 10% off. GamerSupps is a caffeinated product that I recommend only to my 18+ viewers, but my link will send you to their caffeine-free product section just in case. Every product purchased through my link supports my channel financially, so I'd really appreciate the support. Now back to the video.
Okay, so I apologize if my connection is weird, but the reason Volcarona is on the rise is because of like specifically what special attacker, not special, physical attackers have been on the rise. So you look at Calyrex Ice, you look at Koraidon, you look at Zacian, you look at Zamazenta. All of these Pokemon don't like being redirected by Volcarona because chances are, like for most of them, Volcarona resists their main attack, and because it's a physical attack, chances are, like there's a chance that they will get burned by Flame Body, which isn't very fun.
Yeah, and in Koraidon or Groudon's case, they have to burn a Terra to avoid getting burnt. So like that's like another main issue with it. Like Volcarona is literally just like a thorn in the side of every single physical restricted in the game at the moment. Because I can't think of a physical restricted that actually hits this thing. I guess Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is like the ultimate check to it, but like beyond that, yeah, there's literally no physical restricted that like just straight up is able to deal with Volcarona well. The special attackers deal pretty well with it, and like Miraidon doesn't mind if it isn't like a setup one. But yeah, Volcarona itself, it has some pretty decent bulk on the special side at least, but because the special bulk's so big, you can actually invest more in the physical bulk. So we're gonna talk about, you know, the teams that it's being played on, as well as you know, just other ways you can run it, and give some ideas here. I don't know if I said leave a like and subscribe, but I hope you did. Anyways, let's talk about it. So the winner of the Lima special event was Dorian. Let's see if I can pronounce this right. Quinones. I'm not used to, so I'm used to like the Enye being like second. I don't know, like Quinones. But hopefully I said that right, otherwise I'm gonna lose my Spanish card. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, whatever.
Taking away your Mexicanness.
Yeah. Okay, so the team is pretty interesting. I mean, like it feels like a pretty standard like Terrapagos team. We've seen Covert Cloak Terrapagos on the rise as a way to block Snarl and Fake Out and stuff. It lets you just always get turn one for free with Terrapagos. But like Combine Covert Cloak is definitely a thing. The thing about this team, though, with the way that it ran Volcarona, is that this is a purely offensive Volcarona, which isn't really popular right now. They're almost always the support set. So this team, it's literally just like, okay, I have all like my offensive mons. I have like Terrapagos as like my main restricted guy. And then Volcarona's just here, and it's like, okay, I'm going to Quiver Dance, I'm going to Terra Blast, and I'm going to Flamethrower. And I'm still scratching my head trying to figure out what the Volcarona's like role is for the team, other than outright beating Zamazenta. And I think that might literally be it. Because Terrapagos has such a bad Zamazenta matchup, it could specifically just be I kill Zamazenta.
It could also be like that for Zacian as well, because Terrapagos really doesn't like taking a Sacred Sword.
Yeah, or even like +2 Behemoth Blade, or +3 because it gets a Intrepid plus Swords Dance. So yeah, just having that option as like a Pokemon like is just really nice. And yeah, I mean, like it was a mirror match for finals. The other person in, you know, in second place was Sebastian Rodriguez, who was also running a very similar team, only Rillaboom over the Ogerpon Wellspring. So not too big of a difference between them. Actually, was their Volcarona also offensive? Yeah, their Volcarona was also. It was literally just a change in one Pokemon, which is really funny. Actually, there might also be a difference. No, both the Clefairies are Moonblast. I thought they were like pure support. So, I mean, looking at like the rest of the competition, there was another person, Diego Ortiz, who took 9th. But beyond that, in like top 16, there's no other Volcaronas. So I did want to point out that Volcarona did win a major event, right? But the main place it's making a splash was actually LA Regional. So we're gonna talk more about that now. You want to take over for a second? Yeah. Do you want to take over for a second and talk about like the different Volcaronas that we saw?
Okay. At LA Regionals, we saw mainly 2 different types of Volcarona. We saw the support set and we saw the setup set. On stream in day 1, we saw a Volcarona on a Koraidon team. It was Overheat, Will-O-Wisp, Struggle Bug, Protect with Terra Ghost and safety goggles and all that.
Team here
it was meant to. I'm pretty sure it was meant to be like. I think it was supposed to be like a big supportive damage dealer for Koraidon specifically.
Was it Enrique?
Yeah, Enrique.
Yeah. Here it is. So yeah. Oh yeah, Struggle Bug. So this is a set that like I've been passed in a couple of teams. Struggle Bug, Flame Body, safety goggles. It's really cool because it's just like a hard check to like physical attackers. You don't have to rely on them making contact to deal with them, but also because it's running Struggle Bug, it's a way to stop things like Calyrex Shadow Rider from being able to sweep through the entire team. Because it's kind of like Snarl. It's not super effective. It hits it for neutral, but it is like a decent move. It can't miss like Snarl, which is really awesome. And because you're packing Overheat as your main offensive move, as we checked before we started recording, it's pretty much specifically meant to one-shot Zacian. Because you're packing that as like your main offensive move, and it's like, you know, a one-shotting button, you're able to invest more heavily into your bulk and allow for this guy to tank more hits. Also under Trick Room, you know, you're able to.
I would like to add on that in the sun, Overheat becomes an even bigger nuke button, able to take out things like Zamazenta, where the Koraidon wouldn't be able to because it doesn't have Flare Blitz, it only has Flame Charge.
That's actually a really good point. Yeah, I guess next to Koraidon, like that's also like really good type synergy. Koraidon being a dragon fighting type is like super weak to fairy moves, where Volcarona being a fairy, or not fairy, fire bug type, it's able to resist fairy moves. Having no redirection I think is kind of strange, but honestly I think that Protect over redirection can be just as valuable because you're able to keep the Volcarona on the field and threaten things a little bit longer without having to like reposition it in front of, I don't know, let's say some like Rock Slide Pokemon. I don't know what Pokemon would be running Rock Slide, but you know, having that option is also really cool. So I did build like a sample Volcarona if you want to try a similar set to this. This is just 252, 164, 36, 452. Basically the bulk allows you to tank a Calyrex Ice Rider high horsepower, and you're guaranteed 3-shot by that. It's doing less than 50%. That allows for you to fish for Flame Body burns, or you can just straight up Will-O-Wisp it if it you know, is trying to avoid making contact with you. And another tech that you can throw into Volcarona that's really cool that I've been past is Whirlwind.
Is it Whirlwind?
Because,
yeah,
it stops setup. It's a way to, let's say they're running like a Terra Water, I don't know, Terra Water Zamazenta, and you can't, you know, for some reason you can't burn it. It's, I don't know, Terra Fire or whatever. It's meant to stop setup generally. Like you're able to force it out. You're also able to prevent Trick Room, which is really nice. And yeah, no, I think it's a nice little tech Pokemon. You know, you can also go for the offensive variant, but I feel like for the most part, like the defensive variant's going to be like the one that you're able to slap onto like 99% of teams. The only issue is go ahead.
Volcarona in general is just insanely well positioned into the meta right now.
Yeah. I mean, even in like Terapagos, like, you know how they're running like the Covert Cloak Calm Mind set? Even being able to force that out is super nice, because it's like, okay, now you have to like start over. But the main issue with Volcarona is it's competing for a fire type slot. And that's like a really crowded place to be right now. If you want to compete for a fire type slot, you know, let's take a look at like Volcarona, right? You have Volcarona, right? And the other like relevant fire types in this format are going to be
Incineroar, Chiyu.
Incineroar,
Chiyu was
Chiyu.
number 4 in usage in day 2 of LA.
Yeah, Chiyu had like a huge spike, and I think that's mostly just because like people are realizing that hyper offensive special attackers are like really busted at the moment, and Chiyu just enables them. So like that's really, really crazy. You can make an argument.
Gouging Fire.
Yeah, Gouging Fire you can make an argument for. And this Hearthflame is also another one. This is one that I think is kind of controversial. Iron Moth might have a spot in the metagame almost exclusively just because it has access to like Miraidon next to it, so you can do like the old Acid Spray plus like Fluttermane combo, but with a Miraidon instead, because now you have built-in, you know, Quark Drive speed boost, and you can Acid Spray and then one shot with Miraidon. So
at that point, I'd rather just use Fake Tears Whimsicott.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I don't know. This is just like a more offensive variant. You know, you still have like Heat Wave. This thing gets Fiery Dance, which I think is really funny. I don't know. But yeah. Is there anything else really to talk about Volcarona with? I feel like we've covered. It has like offensive set. It has defensive set. It does well into a few Pokemon. I guess we could talk about like some checks to Volcarona because it feels like it's going to be on the rise. I mean, we talked. We could go more in depth into how it beats Zacian and Zamazenta and Koraidon, but I feel like that's self-explanatory. They're physical attackers. Collision courses, you know, resisted. It can click Flare Blitz, of course, and then you get one shot, but like that's a different thing. Zacian just gets hard walled, and Zacian's been on the rise recently. Like every single move that Zacian wants to go for,
Zacian like, going from bad to mid.
Yeah, it's pathetic into it, and then like this guy, he's got Behemoth Bash, Heavy Slam, and Body Presses his moves. So the dogs walled by a Moth, Koraidon not walled, Calyrex walled. If you're running any one of these guys, you're gonna have an issue. So I guess we can talk about some hard checks to it. Volcarona.
I would say Urshifu, but that's a bit of a risky one because each hit of Surging Strikes, you have a chance of being burned.
Yeah, and some of them might end up teching on Citrus Berry to make it so like they can fish for the burn and survive, right? But beyond that, like what other like water types are there? I mean, Kyogre is obviously gonna have like a great matchup into it. The only thing is they have great special bulk and they can run Terra Grass, which is an issue. Other water types that you might want to run to beat it. What else is there even in the metagame? Dondozo kind of doesn't beat it. Ogerpon Wellspring does fairly well into it because they're not really running Bug Buzz at the moment. They're just running fire moves plus Struggle Bug, which does hit super effective, but it's Struggle Bug. So, and if they're running the Terra Water set that won the event, then you don't really have to worry. Rock Pond. Oh yeah, Rock Pond's ridiculous into this guy. Rock Pond, another Pokemon that's on the rise at the moment because it has access to Sturdy. Ivy Cudgel will always one-shot a Volcarona because its times for super effective, but you also have the added benefit of it just not making contact at all. So that's something that you need to note. And Rock Pond feels like the only good rock type in the metagame, funny enough. Because like Glamora isn't really doing much. Iron Thorns has never existed. And like, Tyranitar struggles because it's because of Weather Wars. But I guess maybe Arcanine Hisui. What else hits it for super? Is Fire Bug really that good? It's water, rock, and flying.
Tornadus.
Oh yeah, I guess Tornadus is decent into it. But Tornadus doesn't even feel decent because you have to land the hit. You know what I mean?
True. I guess some variants of Galarian Moltres that carry Hurricane.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess Tornadus is like specifically really good into it the more I think about it. And not because like, you know, Bleak Wind Storm, because you know you have to actually land that. But I think it's mostly just taunt, shutting it down. Is gonna be more important than anything because you know if it has no redirection,
Volcarona also doesn't like being phased.
It doesn't like being phased.
It doesn't like being faced with a Landorus Therian.
Oh yeah. Lando T's pretty rare nowadays though. Like the only teams I've seen it on are like rare Miraidon teams that use it as like a discharge absorber. But Lando T is pretty decent into it, I guess. It also is pretty okay in the metagame at the moment. It's just that everything has clear amulet, so Intimidate doesn't get the most bang for its buck. However, pivoting is really strong at the moment, so having access like U-Turn, Rock Slide. I think the only landers that are going to exist are going to be like the Scarf Terra Blast sets, right?
Yeah.
With like Stomping Tantrum.
Or like Choice Band sets.
Yeah, or Choice Band, so I don't know. feels like there wasn't too much to cover with Volcarona. Like, I want to talk more about it, but it feels like that's all there really is to say. Volcarona's positioned extremely well because of how strong physical attackers are in the metagame. The results of Los Angeles Regionals just sort of cement that, because the top teams had like Zacian, Koraidon, and Calyrex Ice. There are some Pokemon on the rise that might make life a little bit worse.
After the regional, I'd argue that Volcarona's even better. What?
No, say that again.
I keep accidentally cutting you off because of the connection. I can't hear you talking. But I'd argue that even after the regional, I'd argue that it's even better because of like all the stuff that made Top Cut.
Oh yeah, I mean like everything in Top Cut other than like the special attackers get walled by it, and like the two special attackers that don't get walled by it are Calyrex Shadow Rider. So maybe we see like the Struggle Bug set get a little bit more usage, but everything else just gets absolutely annihilated by Volk. So that's why we saw so many in day 2. Unfortunately, no Volcarona in Top Cut, but I feel like that's going to change going into NAIC. I think we might actually see a couple make it a little bit deeper in the tournament. I would say like at least one in top 8 would not be surprising to me. So that's really it though. I thought there'd be more to say, but I feel like we shouldn't bloat the video if we don't need to. Let me know what you guys think about Volcarona in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications, and we'll see you in the next one.